Trial Tuesday, Making a Murder, a documentary, a hit documentary on Netflix is in the headlines once again. Attorney David Ayler is here with the latest on Brendan Dassey's conviction being overturned. We were just talking about this is a documentary that was just made by Netflix a little while ago.
Right.
And it just exploded in popularity.
It really did. You know, it really caught the nation by storm, I think, because of the twists and turns. You really didn't know what was going to happen until you saw the whole thing. And since then, there's been so much more attention to the case of both Steve Avery and Brendan Dassey.
Brendan, now at 16 years of age, was convicted of...
Yeah, he was convicted of the murder and rape of this whole situation that occurred there. And then now what you've seen latest in the news is the main part of his case was the actual confession. And what a federal magistrate judge has now said is that the confession should be thrown out. And it should be thrown out based upon the fact that, one, he was 16, he didn't have any adult there advising him.
Underage, didn't have an adult.
Yep.
Was it recorded at the time?
Yeah.
His confession?
Yeah, it was recorded. But also, there are also, you know, some of his mental facets, basically that, you know, mentally he is at a pretty low level. And that also was a concern of the judges. So where it puts the state now is they've got two different choices. They can appeal the federal magistrate judge's decision to the Court of Appeals there, the Federal Court of Appeals, or they could retry him without the confession, which, of course, if they did that, that would be extremely difficult.
Brendan, was he coerced, do you think, at the age of 16 to confess?
I mean, if you watch the documentary, and I don't want to give anything away for those who haven't watched it, but I mean, it's pretty tough to watch, and just watching sort of the process of it, and that was, I think, what the concern is from the judge. I don't think that it's going to be a scenario where the state's just going to sit back and do nothing and then release him, because that's what they'll have to do within this quick period of time. My guess would be, and this is just completely a guess, is they'll at a minimum probably appeal the magistrate court's decision to the Court of Appeals and then see what happens there.
As a counselor, you see this and you watch this show, and I've talked with other people, they really get hooked into this thing.
Right.
It's a documentary, it's based on facts.
Right.
It's one of those things where you are really almost getting emotionally involved because you know it's factual and you know that there's some evidence that was not there that should have been there, and the new evidence that's come up, and then the coerciousness and all that. You're going, what is going on here? I
think a lot of people get emotional ties to it because of that reason, because it's not a movie and they feel like it's factual. Now, you've had critics on both sides say that some things are skewed as to how it was presented, and whether that's true or not, you know, we don't really know because we're not actually involved in the case. But it's definitely something that's caught America's attention. And the bottom line is the criminal justice system is not perfect. I do believe that we have the best criminal justice system in the entire world, for sure. But it doesn't mean it's perfect. There's some things about this situation, if you watch it and see, and there's definitely some flaws in it. But it's a very interesting case. This is just the latest turn. But particularly with that confession, there's so many concerns, and it's good to see that a judge has reviewed it, and now it's been turned over. What's going to happen next, who knows? I've
been in a number of third world countries, including the Middle East, and I'll agree with you 100% that we have the best justice.
Absolutely.
Even though sometimes it doesn't work the way people would think it would work.
Yeah. But it's a lot better than any other one, and the bottom line is having that legal protection, having that attorney there. Unfortunately, he didn't have an attorney there. You have the right to remain silent for a reason, and you have a right to have that attorney for a reason. He didn't have either. That's what put him where he was.
And at 16 years of age, a lot of things can be extremely frightening.
It can be frightening at any age, but particularly at that age.
Absolutely. David Ayler, thank you. How can folks get a hold of you?
Easiest way is my downtown office, 577-5530, on the web at davidayler.com.
Always a pleasure. We've got more coming up right after the break. Stay with us.